It is every president's dream to pack the Supreme Court with the loyalists. Trump did it in the United States. He brought in Neil Gorsuch, he brought in Brett Kavanaugh, and he brought in Amy Barrett. So now Republicans technically have a supermajority in the Supreme Court. Now here in Kenya, Ruto has the same opportunity to pack the Supreme Court with his two-term loyalists. And if you see the data, it's quite scary. Just have a look at this. We are all aware Justice Mohammed Ibrahim died. So that is one slot that President Ruto will be able to fill immediately. And even if Justice Ibrahim Mohammed didn't die, he was slated to resign in January 2026. So either way, he was going to be replaced sooner rather than later. Now let's look at the others. Philomena Mwilu, by law, she's to resign in the year 2027. I'm not certain about the month, but you best believe if it is before the elections, Ruto will bring in a loyalist. Sababu hiyo ni kura atahitaji when he's being challenged for stealing or something of that nature in the Supreme Court. Martha Koome, she will be leaving office in 2031. Now if Ruto by dubious means gets a second term, he will be able to replace Martha Koome. William Ouko will be leaving office in 2032. Again, if Ruto will have won himself a second term, this is a seat he'll be able to fill. Isaac Lenaola will be with us for quite some time. He lives in 2038. Smokin Wanjala by 2030, he should be leaving. Njoki Susan Ndungu will be leaving by 2030 because at 65 you have to retire. So these are some of the issues we are having here. Ibrahim Mohammed being replaced now and Philomena Mwilu being replaced just before elections. And if Ruto gets his way, moving forward, whatsoever the lower courts challenge, Ruto will just be escalating the matter to the Supreme Court where he gets a favorable ruling and carries the day. Now that aside, in this video I want us to look into some of the controversial names that you are likely going to see Ruto floating to replace the late Ibrahim Mohammed. And with no further ado, let's get after it. Number one is Wakili Gladys Boss Shollei. Gladys Boss Shollei is one of the fierce William Ruto supporters. And if Ruto ever has a chance to place her in the Supreme Court, you best believe he will do it without hesitation. More so because of this speech by Mheshimiwa Shollei.
Your Excellency, I'm your loyal foot soldier. When you tell me speak briefly, I speak briefly. If you tell me Gachagua ende nyumbani, Gachagua anaenda nyumbani. So I always follow orders, and I will follow those orders today, and therefore I'll be very brief.
And mind you, Gladys Boss Shollei is 51 years old. You are allowed to serve as a Supreme Court Justice till the age of 65. It is only the Chief Justice who has a 10-year limit. Ukimaliza 10 years, you now can drop to become an Associate Justice or you resign altogether. Most of them would rather resign than lose a rank to now have your junior become your boss. It makes no sense. So Shollei at 51 years old, that is around 15 years of her reigning terror at the judiciary. So I can't rule out President Ruto sending his very loyal soldiers you've had to go listen to his cases in the Supreme Court, especially ahead of 2027. Number two, we have a learned fellow called Otiende Amolo. Why would Ruto be looking to forward Otiende Amolo as a Supreme Court Justice? The reason is this: it helps him alleviate a very big headache that he has right now. You see, the Lakeside is demanding more shares in this government as far as appointments are concerned. Now, which share are they currently asking for in the National Assembly? They want that seat of Speaker Wetangula. Either walete ya Kingi ama ya Wetangula. And they know that the National Assembly is where the power truly is. That is where the bills are passed and amended and so on and so forth. Even impeachments take there. So that is where they'd rather have full control of the day-to-day activities. So Ruto either kicks out Wetangula to create space for Otiende Amolo, which doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, he needs Western Kenya ahead of 2027 elections. So by Otiende Amolo being made a Supreme Court Justice, that ends that issue of Otiende Amolo replacing Wetangula. Wetangula can serve out his term until when Ruto doesn't need him, then he can betray him like he did to the mountain. But for the short term, there will be peace in that National Assembly. Wetangula sees out his term, Otiende Amolo goes to serve in the judiciary. So those two names, I suspect, could break history whereby for the first time we're going to see a politician who is a learned fellow, an advocate at that, transitioning from parliament to the Supreme Court to listen to cases about their friend William Ruto, i.e. 2027 akienda kusema ameibiwa, or when Kalonzo goes to say ameibiwa, because whoever wins must have stolen, whoever loses must say aliibiwa. It's the order of the day in this country. No one concedes and no one wins fairly, so that is expected. So as we wait for the replacement of Ibrahim Mohammed, our learned fellows and also Kenyans at large, we need to seriously watch and look at who is being picked to go to that Supreme Court. How have they been ruling in these other cases? Have they been found giving fictitious rulings? Ambaye mtu kama nimeona ingine kuna jamaa ameshikwa aliiba billions. They've been told to pay, is it 6% of what they stole, and then they are good to go. Such rulings is what we are looking at, because the best way to predict the future is to look at the past. And if the past is anything to go by, Shollei should not be on that list. Otiende Amolo, we can argue about it, but because of him being a politician and being being a loyal member of ODM, that is conflict of interest. Haizi kuwa the same person anaenda pale kusikiza kesi 2027. We need someone neutral, never been in politics, has a clear and sober mind, and that clear sober mind can be seen in their rulings. Failure to which, maandamano paka tupate yule mtu tunahitaji. But at the end of the day, guys, that's just my opinion. Let me know your own comments in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to read them and to give you a response. So with that, here are today's ads of the day. If you're in need of office petitioning or home interior works, i.e. kitchen cabinets, modern media walls, wall decoration, wainscoting, wardrobes, tiles, bathrooms, window blinds, gypsum and so on, reach out to Suima's Interiors at 07170 443 or info@suimas.co.ke, and they'll get all your needs sorted out. Whatever it may be, all interior works, these guys are the best at it.
Right now, I'm with my team headed to a client's house in Ruto for consultation. That is to take measurements of the windows, go through our catalog with the client, and then once they decide on the color and the fabric they want, we'll get busy sewing, and at long last, the curtains installation will be on us. So if you're looking for curtains, shears, curtain rods, curtain accessories, reach out to Phoenix Curtains and Interior Decor, and we will sort you out. Call us on 0724 414153.
And with that, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula, hit the subscribe button. You're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.